Hi guys, in this review I'll be checking out two new products from Esimen or Vakdon for the Quest 3. We've got a quite unique controller grip design from them, which also offers lots of protection. And we've got a silicone cover for the stock interface as well to show you. So first is their silicone cover for the Quest 3. We have a black silicone cover here. You also get a nose piece as well, and you get an eye protector to protect the lenses whilst it's being stored or charging. The eye protector is pretty simple as it comes. They sit inside the Quest 3 lenses, and these are meant to sort of sit on top of the lenses themselves, and that keeps everything nice and protected. It's a token gesture. What you're really here for is the silicone cover, but it's nice to have a few little accessories bundled in for free. And then we also have the nose pad, which has a plastic clip which is meant to clip on the actual facial interface. So that'll be interesting to see how well that works. Now, as for the silicone cover, it's made of soft silicone, so it's great if you're using this for fitness. You can just wipe it down quite easily with a wipe, and also it's great if you're sharing the Quest with a few other people. It's meant to be a perfect fit with the standard stock facial interface. Obviously, it helps protect the fabric padding that's underneath. There is no foam or anything inside this, so you're not going to get that much extra padding or comfort in that regard, but it is going to be a slightly different experience than the kind of rough texture of the material on the stock facial interface. Right, so let's get this applied to our stock facial interface. It should be relatively simple. I'm going to do it with the actual Quest still attached to it. And there you have it. That's it pretty much installed in a matter of seconds. Quite easy to get on. It's fairly loose in some areas, you can see here at the top and at the bottom here. So it's not a really tight fit, but it does get around there fairly well. And as for the feel, I think it feels quite good actually. It's obviously cool to the touch. So this will be nice and easily wipeable if you were to use your Quest 3 for fitness. And obviously it's a little bit cooling as well compared to the material fabric of the stock interface. So that's a little advantage for you there. Well, let's go for the nose piece to finish it off. So you've got these little teeth on each side, and we basically have a slight hole on each side of the nose piece of the actual interface itself. And I'm guessing these just basically clip on inside those holes. So it clips into one end, clips into the other, and then we can move that nose piece in between the lenses and the silicone cover. So that's the nose piece there, and you don't get this with obviously the official interface, so these little clips are quite good, and you could get by with just using this and without this. So if you just want the nose piece, that should work regardless of whether you use this silicone cover or not. But let's try it out. So definitely no light leakage at all. I'm looking down and I can't see anything below me, so that's really achieving its main purpose, really, nose piece. And it's not solid plastic, it's kind of a silicone material as well, so it bends over your nose quite well, and overall not bad if you're looking for a silicone cover and nose piece. You can see that this is starting to come off a little bit, so you really need to make sure you hook them over. You've got like a little ridge there on the inside which is meant to sit inside, but it's not perfectly sitting inside there. So this silicone cover retails for currently $16.99 or £17.99 from Amazon. You can check out my links down below if you're interested in this to support the channel and buy yourself one. There is a 10% coupon as well, so you get $1.06 off that, so it's a little bit cheaper as well. And if you're after a fairly decent silicone cover, then this is not a bad solution, I think. And the fact is that you get this just makes it a little bit better over some other sellers that aren't selling this little extra with it. Plus you get some eye protection should you think or need that in your life. It comes in 3 other colors. You've got black, blue and red. They've gone for the full-on primary colors there. I'll say blue and red is almost similar to their official blue and red colors, but without actually seeing it in the flesh, I can't really say whether it's a good match or not. And that is the silicone cover from Esimen or Vakdon. Okay, next we have some controller grips for the Meta Quest 3. And I said that they carry some form of protection, and this is something I thought was quite unique, so I said yes, I'll check these out because it's a little bit different to what everyone else is doing. And they come with these kind of like drone-like guards. Quite excessive, I would say, but if you need that protection, then Vakdon or Esimen is here to help you out. So in a little zippy bag we have the controller grips. They're clear plastic, see-through, probably some TPU material. We have some additional accessories. We've got some covers for the thumbsticks, Got some covers for the battery door. So if you've got some easy swap out replacement battery door there on the plastic. We've got some 2 clips here at the bottom and at the top. So I am curious as to how this is going to come together. You have a built-in knuckle strap with some silicone cover material. It is riveted at the top. You can't take that off. And there is a bungee cord to tighten it around your knuckles once you've actually got it all in the grip itself. Got some holes here for the sensors to let that come through, and also the sensor on the palm rest as well as the grip button. That's all nicely cut out. You've got an R there, and you've probably got an L here, yeah, to tell you which side is which. And then here are the guards. So we have our grips here ready to be installed. Let's go with the right one. We've taken the battery door off already. And now we need to open up the casing. So we also need to take out the battery because there's a little loop there to pull the battery out. So we won't need those just yet. And to open up these, it's a little bit tricky actually. There you go. So that's the 2 opened up. We next put on the battery door. So that's the battery door installed on the left-hand one, and we'll do it on the right. Pull open that battery cover there. Make sure that is sticking up the top end through the hole, and we close that in place. Not a bad color match, pretty good. This is now for the battery again, and then we can tie that back into the bottom, into the slot there, so it's really nice and easy to be removed. And then we basically need to put this battery door back on. So that's now inserted back on the controller. Pretty good. And now we need to position this in the main cradle of the plastic. Then that basically snaps back on top. So that now encases the controller. Little bit of movement in there. So it's not a perfect flush fit. The grip is easily pressable there, which is good to see. They've thought about that. This is not closing fully yet. This side is. So that is not pushing in properly, but it's there. But I think once you start playing with it, it might pop out again. But let's leave it there for now. And then these basically snap in over these little placeholder things here. Let's get the middle one in first because that looks a little bit tricky to do. Okay, this is really hard to get on. There we go. So you have to get that one on first, followed by these other 2. And these little keep it held in place at the top there. And that's pretty much it, all put together. It feels a little bit cheap because of that plastic, but that's the right one installed. Let's go for the left one. Don't forget you have to make sure that arrow is pointing upwards. That's the grips installed now. Let's check out these little freebie covers for these sticks. This is obviously going to raise the stick ever so slightly, so you might find that that is an advantage to you. Right, that's a little bit tricky to get on, but that's the thumbstick covers also attached. Be nice to if they gave us 2 different colors for that, so you can actually tell which controller's which. But that's the controller's grips installed. They look pretty funky, don't they really? So that's the battery door, which is quite hard to get in there to open up. So I think that's a little bit of an afterthought. It's a nice idea, but you really have to get your fingernail in there to get that off and to get out the battery. And let's just try the pull tab. Yep, that works. So it's a nice way to get at the battery without having to take the whole entire controller panel off. It's not the best solution, I think. It should have a little bit of a tab to pull at rather than digging your nail in. Or at least have a bit of a chunky area cut out slightly so you can actually get your nail in there and lift it off, possibly here, because you're not going to feel it underneath your palm. But the grip button is fine. It's not being restricted in any way. And then you can basically pull these. You probably have to pull this down actually to at least loosen it anyway. So you can push that in and it makes it all nice and loose again. So over the test of time, these things do start to fray. So I would have to see how long that takes until that starts to fray and get loose. But this is not too bad. It's got the protection where you need it here. Don't need it as much here, and I don't really feel much of that buckle on that side yet. Would have been nicer if this was potentially a little bit higher, so that actually came over a bit more. But for my hands, it's not too bad. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is this does make it a little bit more bulky, just like the original grips used to do for the Quest 2 and the Quest 1. Anything that you're going to add to the grip itself is going to make it a little bit chunkier. So if you do have big hands, bigger hands than mine, and mine are quite average to small hands, then these are going to be much better for you, and you might even prefer that bigger handle on the controller itself. Can't feel that ridge here at all really with my thumb resting on it, and there's enough here for under my thumb. Being that kind of plastic, you don't really get any extra weight from these either, so that's good to see. And you got generally the protection where you need it right up the top here if you're hitting something face on. If you're gonna side swipe There is a bit here, but you're going to hit your hands here probably first. And at least this is going to be protecting the back of your fingers here, unless you go down onto the object that you're going to hit instead. Then you've got no protection there whatsoever. But if you're sharing these controllers with people that aren't really up with VR and just generally spatial awareness within VR as well, then these are a really good solution to protect your controllers from not only drops, because the protective casing is going to help you with that, but also any smacks against any nearby objects. These rings here are going to help you from that too. But I'll test this out with a couple of games to see if these sensor tracking is all okay, and I'll report back later.
A few moments later.
So I've played a few games with the Esimen grips installed, including CookieRun The Darkest Night, which is a newly released action-adventure game on the Quest store. I found the grips weren't too bad to use, I didn't lose any tracking from them, and although I had plenty of space around me, I knew that the guards would protect my fingers if I were going to hit something with them. The protective plastic around the controllers does make it feel a little bit chunkier to hold, which is good if you have larger hands, but I still did have issues with the battery door, which could have been designed a little easier to remove. The adjustment cable on the knuckle straps didn't have a way to stow them back on the grip, as I have seen on similar straps, so they do hang out loose and can get in the way at times. The grip was generally comfortable to use though, so if you find yourself in the need for all-round protection, then maybe check these out. Otherwise, I find there's less bulky and far better knuckle strap solutions out there. So these protective grips from Esimen or Vakdon retail quite reasonably for just $19.99 or £19.99 on Amazon. And you can check out my links down below and support the channel and buy yourself a pair. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Give us a thumbs up if it has, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about these controllers, as well as the silicone cover from Esimen or Vakdon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.